What up, though? And welcome to Let's Talk Detroit Lions Talk, brought to you by Detroit Lions on the Prowl and Lions Nation Unite. It's your man, Curt Still. Today is Wednesday, January 11th, 2022. On deck for today's show, we review the Lions 2022 season. LL reviews the year that the Lions had on offense. Coach Jones does the same for the defense, and I name my MVPs for the offense, defense, and special teams. But before we get into all that, it's time to bring in the rest of the crew. Y'all know who he is. I know the ladies know, the fellas know, everybody know, your grandmama and them know. Everybody know who this cat is, man, because he is the sole proprietor and the inventor of the Tupperware T-shirt exchange program. It's the highest player from the Himalayas, Big El Guapo from Yaktown. LL Cool Tones. What's going on, my guy?
What's that, Proud Nation, and good morning.
Man, and I don't know if he's Jamaican or not, man, but he got more jobs than one. Because I'll tell you, man, the dude, he will cook you a meal, he'll coach your kids, he'll knock your ass out if you need it. He definitely will check your chin, man. You know what I'm saying? He'll give you a fade, both kinds. It's my man, who?
He bought that money. It's the Wolverine, Coach Mike Jones. What's going on, Lion fans?
Let's get this thing started
right now.
Let's go.
It's Detroit Lions talk, baby. What's going on? What's going on this Wednesday, man? Hey, Curt, bust down this recap for him, man. Let them know how the season went for the Detroit Lions.
Yeah, I know, man. The Detroit Lions season was one of inspirations and tons of ups and downs. Started with hope from Hard Knocks, and then it kind of took a little dirty turn on us. Players not making it back from injury in camp like Romeo Carr or Jerry Jeudy. Young players getting hurt in camp like Levi Onwuzurike, who didn't make it back all year. And Josh Pascal, he came back a little bit later. We didn't get to see a full season. Yes, veteran right guard Big B lost for the season. The Lions started the season 1-1. Had a very good showing against the Philadelphia Eagles and just ran roughshod over those Washington Commanders. But then that third game, what happened? Lost the game, but we lost, more importantly, defensive captain Tracy Walker for the remainder of the season due to the Achilles injury. That's a tough way to start the season. It got even worse from that, man. The team lost 5 straight games, starting with their Minnesota game to move to 1-6, which included more injuries to the players in the wide receiver core. We had DJ Chark go down. We had Josh Reynolds go down. We was playing with people off the street. I mean, we was playing with 3 slot receivers pretty much the middle of the season. And, we lost John Kaminsky during that time as well. We just had a lot of injuries going on. We lost Charles Harris. I mean, it just got worse. I mean, God, it was like, come on, man. And then we end up losing. We getting a quarterback and we're losing the core. I'm like, what the hell is going on in this thing? And not to mention, Coach Dan Campbell had to fire probably one of the most fan favorite coaches that we had on the team, with Aubrey Pleasant, for failure to follow the game plan versus the Miami Dolphins. It was like, look, bro, you got to go. We got a vision right here, and you ain't doing it. But then, all of a sudden, this team turned it around. A historic kind of a team run, because we haven't seen something like this from the Lions, because once they start losing, they just usually keep losing. They won 8 of the last 10 games, man. That's crazy. To finish 9-8 on the season, but guess what it was? It was bookend victories over the Green Bay Packers for the turnaround. It started with the Green Bay Packers, and it ended with the Green Bay Packers. Started with beating the Green Bay Packers at the home. Oh man, we can't lose to that team. And then that team put your ass out the playoffs, Packers. You know what I'm saying? But overall, this season was one of hope. It was the emotional roller coaster for most Lions fans that we get, but it's usually ending on a downslope. But this year it ended on an upslope. We didn't make the playoffs, but the one thing that the Lions did gain in this season, and more importantly, at the end of the season, is respect. And they put the league on notice that we are here to stay and we coming for y'all, and we have good high expectations next year for the Detroit Lions. And we're building this thing through the draft, young players, and it's built for longevity, not just to win, and not just to win in the short term, because the Lions have been known for that for so many years. We bring in aging veterans to try to, spark this team. You look at all those guys, Dwight Freeney, you know what I'm saying? Adrian Peterson. We bringing in all these old ass dudes, man. Come on, man. We getting our play from these young players, man. And that's the season that we had. This season embodied the grit and the personality of the head coach, Dan Campbell. And he got players to buy in, and they did their thing. And I love what the direction that the Lions are going in. I'm just excited to see what happens next year and beyond. But the 2022 season, one of hope and one of respect, and what we're getting at around the league. What you got, Coach Jones? You got you about to spit some fire on the MIC, because I know he a battle rapper too.
I'm just playing. You know what, man? It was a season that I think players grew. I think everybody grew up. Even the veterans grew up during this season, man. It was growth. This whole season was growth. From the beginning to the very end, you've seen the growth of everybody. And you also seen a few players that we realized that we didn't need. You know what I'm saying, on this roster. And I think this was yeah, man. I think all in all, we figured out who we are. We figured out our identity, and we had a pretty good year. If you think about where we started and where we ended, we were the hottest team in the NFL. Winning 8 out of 10. So with that being said, I just think the Lions showed that they have the right people in place. They have the right GM. They have the right coaches. They have the right players. It's just about finding where everybody needed to be. We found it, and now moving forward, I don't know who can stop us. Really, just being honest with you, and that's not even me being cocky. I'm just being for real. I don't know who can stop us, because 8 out of 10 teams, and them 2 games that we lost, if we could play it again, I don't think that those 2 teams beat us. I think we go 10 for 10. So, it's looking bright here in Detroit.
Yeah. The super bright future. A lot to look forward to. Just can't let this season be in vain, man. That's all I really got to say. Don't go through everything you did this year to go out next season and waste it all. You know what I'm saying? You got to build on it. That's what Coach DC said. Keep stacking, and put that in retrospect for everything. Wins, good plays, even good seasons. You know what I'm saying? Or seasons in general. We showed some improvement. We showed bright spots last year. Some of those bright spots, showing a little bit more this year. Build on it, stack on that, keep on going. Like Coach Mike said, grow, show that growth. I'm just looking over the total team stats and things. And one of the things that I really like to see is we had less penalties than our opponent. I don't know if that's our every year thing. I don't believe that it is. But
not even close.
Yeah, we had. And it's by a nice little amount too. So, just things like that, things that coaching affects, you know what I'm saying? Penalties, just overall team morale, team play, the team, what's what I'm looking for here? Philosophy, I guess. Very physical. It was something else I was going to say, but I forgot. So, but the grits, that's what it is. Everybody talking about them grits. Keep them grits hot. You got to keep them hot for next season too, man. Keep them rolling, keep them boiling, man. You got to, whatever it is, just build on it. Take a step forward. A lot of people growing, Amon-Ra took a step from last year to this year. Jared Goff, of course, took a step from last year to this year. I'd say the whole team took a step from last year to this year. So the next thing to do is take that next step.
Right. You know, you look at this season overall in a nutshell, man. It's the philosophy of, like you said, the team. You they built what it was. And the ownership didn't give up on it. You think about this, man. At that 1-6, Sheila Foreham came out and said, "Hey, you know, we got the right guys in place. Is this going to take a minute? But you know, hey." And you looked at what the team did after that, man. You know, and like we say, it ain't like she ain't, but she ain't scared to, you know what I'm saying, let them smell them white diamonds in Allen Park. So she roll up on a brother real quick. But it was a great growth. And you talk about the players, but even the coaching staff grew. You look at how, you know, Aaron Glenn, Ben Johnson, all these guys, they grew. And you look at even Ty Walsh. I mean, people, that's the name that kind of gets left out a little bit, just because of the fact you look at the second half of the season and how that pass rush was definitely improved, and the run support was in the interior was improved. And you look at we already know about what Hank Fraley does on the offensive line with that group. It's just culture. It's culture, and it's gonna be. I think this is gonna be an attractive landing spot for some free agents here coming up here real soon. I think this starting this offseason. But hey, like the video, share the video, comment on the video, man. All of these things help us get this content to more Lions fans just like yourself. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. What you waiting on, man? You keep coming back. So hit the notification bell so you know when you're getting fresh content from us right here at Detroit Lions on the Prowl. Yo, home for Detroit Lions news and rumors. Now it's time for the family discussion topic for today. It's easy. We want to hear what you think. Give us your thoughts on the Lions 2022 season. Put it in the comment section of the video. That's what we ask you. You know, you're gonna talk about it in the chat during the premiere, but go ahead and put it in the comment section of the video. No matter what part of the video you're watching, each part, if the whole thing or a segment, just drop us a comment in those things, man, and we will definitely try to get your comment on the show. We read 6 of them in the comment cards section segment of the show. So go ahead and let us know what you think about the Lions 2022 season. Again, give us your thoughts on the Lions 2022 season. All right, now it is time to shift our focus. It's time to get into a little bit of in-depth breakdown of what we thought about the Lions 2022 season. We're going to start on the offensive side of the ball because he's always on offense during cuffing season, baby. It's my man, LL Cool Torrance, man. Talk about that Lions offense, brother.
Offensively this season, we had one of the better offenses of this in the NFL. I don't know the rankings just yet, but dang, and I was trying to remember what I sent you guys a screenshot of one of the stats from last night. But at one point, we scored 30 or more points 8 times this year. That was first in the NFL. Just not monumental, but just the improvements, man. We gave up, even though we didn't necessarily have the best passing defense. We gave up less passing yards than we ended up turning out. We caused more turnover. Well, we caused more interceptions. We caused more turnovers overall, but we caused more interceptions that we ended up throwing out there. So shout out, and that's a good sign of improvement from our quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Of all the things he could have did this year, he stepped up. He did exactly what a lot of us said that he should do. You know what I'm saying? There was times this season where he didn't, but ultimately, he stepped up in a way that helped us all get to where we need to be. So, shout out to Jared Goff for that. I know I hate him, and I'm waiting to hate him again. I'm not gonna lie, but I'm also waiting for him to do what he needs to do as well, because I think that he can. I think that he can, and I want him to do it. But the moment that he don't, I'm gonna want him out of here. But overall, just a decent offensive season. I'm okay with this season. Could have been better, could have been worse. Nothing's 100% around here. I'm okay with it though. It wasn't. I would call this maybe a successful season. It exceeded a lot of expectations. I've said that before. Definitely exceeded mine. We showed what we can be. We showed what we are. The running game, how long has it been since we've had a running game at all? I don't know. I would like to know if I'm certain that I'll find this soon, but we've had this is our most rushing yards and how many seasons we finished with 2,100 rushing yards, or over 2,100 rushing yards.
Yeah,
I'm certain that's far and away the best rushing season that we've had in probably 20 some years. So build on that, you know.
The first 1,000-yard rusher since 2013, right? Since Reggie Bush.
Yeah.
Shout out to Jamal Williams, Swaggy, and whatever the hell he said on Sunday Night Football. I saw he was speaking another language. Even though I know what he was talking about, I don't know what he was saying.
Oh, but, the anime introduction.
Yeah, something Kaze, something. I don't. He said it in a yeah. But shout out to him.
Playing with us. We dogs not love.
Yes, that as well. That's the most important. That was the after game speech when he was saying, you know, we went through some things, but yeah, you know, don't let the tears fool you. It's all dogs around this mug. So yes. Jamal Williams. But offensively, man, we going forward, man. We could definitely be one of the better offenses in the league. That's not even something that I necessarily rely on or bank on or even, you know, value. Like I don't even care. I mean, I like to have a decent offense, but I'd rather have as good offense as we do defense. But I think that's coming together as well. But offensively, we were decent. And it was spearheaded by everybody's friend, Jared Goff, and the run game. Of course, the run game kept us steady. Jared Goff kept us out of some bad spots when we could have got worse. And thankful for him, he didn't make it any worse. So shout out to the Lions offense and moving forward.
For me, Ben Johnson turned the offense into a juggernaut this year. We were a juggernaut this year. Even when we were losing, we were scoring a lot. We was giving up points, but we were scoring points too. So we were in a lot of games, those close games. And we 8 times over 30 points. Man, that's better than anybody. That's better than Kansas City. All those high-powered offenses, we were outpowering those guys, man. With the final numbers of the season. We had some times we weren't, but most of the year we were balanced. You know, offense, we were running the ball, passing the ball. Jared Goff had a huge bounce back season, and I like what you're talking about with Jared Goff. And I talked to like I said, I talked to my buddy out there, and who's the Rams guy. He does the Rams podcast, and he was like, "Man, Jared Goff can be one of the, when he's on, he's one of the best guys in the league. If you put the right pieces around him, you know, you keep him clean. He's one of the best guys in the league, and he showed it this year because they kept him clean. We didn't give up a lot of sacks this year. We kept Jared Goff clean, and he did his thing. He picked some guys apart, and some of the best secondaries in the league. He was just doing his thing. The Lions led the league in fewest turnovers. This, I think, is one of the stats you were talking about, LL.
Mm-hmm. I had to pull up my other phone to go see what I sent y'all on Twitter.
Yeah, he had led the league in fewest turnovers, and we were +7 in turnover differential. I think we only gave up the ball 17 times for the year, and I think we had like 20-something takeaways or whatever it was. It was a +7. So shout out to the offense for that. And my last thing is what's one of the cornerstones, and I have to give my shout out to Brad Holmes for this and Hank Fraley. We had one of the best offensive lines in the league, period, point blank. And that's being recognized throughout the league. Hank Fraley, he did a good job with those fellas. Even when we had injuries, there was always somebody coming in. There was never really a big drop off in play. You know, maybe a point here or there, but it was always a good, solid offensive line, able to run the ball and keep Jared Goff clean the majority of the season. So shout out to Ben Johnson, Ted Walsh, and the whole offensive coaching staff over there, and MCDC as well, man, and Brad Holmes for putting this team in a position to win. What you got, Coach Mike?
You know what? I just want to start off by saying that Ben Johnson did a hell of a job. And the Lions did something that was very wise, that they realized when it came into the season, we were all talking about, man, DeAndre Swift is like a top 5, top 10 running back when healthy. But we also realized that, you know what? If you look at, like, I always use Alvin Kamara. I believe that DeAndre Swift is like Alvin Kamara, a lot of similarities. And you look, and they're best used when they have a power back. When they have a workhorse back and they can come in and do whatever. That's their best usage you get out of them. So I know that change going into, as the season started off, I think people were thinking DeAndre Swift is going to be that guy. Then Jamal Williams come in and relieve him a little bit of short yardage back. And then that philosophy changed during the season. And they realized Jamal Williams is actually our guy. And then DeAndre Swift is the change of pace back. And I think that was a big part of the offense. That stability that Jamal Williams is a downhill runner. And he'll lay the hat on you, man. I think that positive gain in the run was a big part of being able to open up lanes in the passing game.
Yeah.
I also think that it was a very good call by the coordinators, by the GM, but that sat down and was like, you know what? We like TJ Hockenson, but we don't need TJ Hockenson. And that was a good call because when you have TJ Hockenson, you have to game plan for him. You have to add him in the game plan somehow. He has to be either your second option. I think he has to be your second option. I don't think TJ Hockenson can be like a third or a fourth option. So if you're not going to game plan for a guy like that, then you need to let him go. And I'm glad that the Lions GM, the coaches, the whole organization as a whole was able to just let guys go. You know what I'm saying? That's something that we did not do in the past. We held on the guys forever. We were like, man, like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, come on, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but I'm glad that they were able to see that, man. And just the changes and seeing the growth from beginning to end. It was just like watching Hard Knocks, but in a full season capacity, man. So shout out to the offense, man. And them guys is growing. And Jared Goff, you done turned into LL's play cousin. What you got, man?
Yeah, man. And one thing I would say, Coach Mike, I watched some of the Saints game this weekend, and they said this. They were saying the same thing about Alvin Kamara. They say he's better when he has a downhill bell cow back runner with him in the backfield. They said it was better when he had a guy like Mark Ingram,
or Latavius Murray, or something.
Yeah, he's always better when he has a down. His is not great when he's just a feature back. So it's always good when he has that bell cow type of stronger runner, because he has that same. If you look at it, he has the same type of thing with like DeAndre Swift. When they try to make him the bell cow, he gets tattered with injuries, and then he's missing time because the workload is too much on his body. So it's best to have him as a change of pace, and then like a spell him, have him be able to spell someone else, and you can rotate them in the game plan. But it's always good to have those guys to have even when Roger Craig played, old school back in the 90s, he always had, what I'm saying, it was always another back that was there.
Dexter Carter, Tom Rath.
The only guy that was really, I say that didn't have a backup guy like that, and that was that type of back and had longevity and was able to play play at a higher rate and not get injured was Marshall Faulk. That was the only player that was like that didn't have a lot of injuries. He just played. Yeah, played. Oh, yeah. LaDainian Thompson as well. I give you that. But yeah, those two guys. But other backs like that, you don't make them the bell cow back. You did change their pace. Yeah. So we talked about the offense, man. Hey, like the video, share the video, comment on this thing, man, and go ahead, man, and subscribe to the channel. We're on the march to 4,000 subscribers, man. So get on the bus, Gus. Get on this train, Wayne. Get on this ride, Clyde. Ain't no cost in that, man. It's free. Just hit the subscribe button, man, and hit the notification bell so you know when you're getting fresh content from us right here on Detroit Lions on the Prowl. Yo, home for Detroit Lions news and rumors. Hey, make sure you check us out. Go to Fanatics. Go to Fanatics, man. They're having so many sales right now, end of the season, or go to Lids or whatever else. But go to Fanatics right now. Links in the description below. You get all your end of year gear for the Lions on a discount, man, on the low, and the portion of the proceeds from that link go to help us right here on Detroit Lions on the Prowl. Then you make sure you check us out on Lions Nation Unite. It is the ultimate virtual hangout for Detroit Lions fans. You can download the app for Lions Nation Unite in the Google, Android, or Apple App Store, or you can just type in lionsnationunite.com in your web browser. And while you're over there, you're going to get some other gear, man. Get yourself some LNU gear at lnushop.com. It's always game day in the LNU shop, man. Go ahead and get that authentic gear right there in the LNU shop, and not the fake like on Facebook or Instagram, man. And don't even get the shirt that they don't even sell. Doesn't make any difference to me. Man, make sure you check us out on DetroitLionsOnTheProwl.com. And while you're over there, click on the link for it, LionsOnTheProwlShop.com. Get yourself some Prowl Nation gear. Get Jim's favorite shirt, man, that kneecap biting shirt he always wore on the show, man. So grab yourself some Prowl Nation gear over at LionsOnTheProwlShop.com. Coach Jones will hook you up, man. He got that Wolverine gear, man, because if you're a Wolverine on Saturday and a Lion on Sunday like we are on this panel, Coach Jones will hook you up over at wolverlion.com. That link's in the description below as well. Then, my man, Big Lion Man. You know, y'all see him all over Detroit on the billboards for the Lions, man. Grab yourself some roll-up gear, man. Links in the description below. Do your part in the fight against cancer, because those sales of that gear go to help the American Cancer Society of Michigan. And before we go to Coach Jones, man, I got to tell you, go ahead and follow us on your favorite social media platforms. You know, you got Facebook, you got TikTok, and of course, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the baddest Instagram page in the land over there at my man LL Coutons, man. And you know it's coming tomorrow. It's Thursday, baby. So make sure you check out my man LL's Instagram page and the link. I keep saying it's coming, man. We just got to make sure we lock it down for the www.tupperwareexchange.com. All right, my man, Coach Jones, man. All right, it's about this defense, man.
This was an up and down year. You know, it was mostly down. But we seen bright spots toward the end and to look forward to the future. But you know what? I think the defense had its trying times. When you got that many young players on the field who haven't seen everything before, haven't put their eyes or witnessed all these packages, all these schemes, all these different looks from teams that their offensive coordinators scheme up, you're going to run into issues. And I think this defense struggled mightily at the beginning of the season. But as the season went on, the D-line started to get healthy. And I think this defense moves with the D-line. I think this D-line ignites this defense. And as the D-line got healthy, our pass rush started coming. And that changed a lot of things on the defensive end. Our linebackers, they were able to keep our linebackers free. You know, the linemen were not able to climb to the second level. A lot of them were getting held up at the line because they had to get Isaiah Buggs. They had to hold a Liam McNeil. They had to double and chip Aiden Hutchinson. And I think that allowed our linebackers to roam free, and that just that opened things up, man. Our defense, they learned. They were able to learn. And as the season went on, they grew up. And you've seen the confidence start to rise, even in the secondary. The confidence started to rise in the secondary because when you got guys in front of you attacking, it opens up the back end so you can see everything unfolding in front of you. And I think that helped our young players, because when you got guys who are not attacking or they're trying to attack and you got so much coming at you and you can't see anything and everybody is like scrambling in front of you, it just causes confusion in the secondary, and you don't know who to take. You know what I'm saying? You got this much area, but you got 2-3 guys in there. You don't know who the hell to jump on. So, you know, so I think that everybody grew as the season went on, and I'm just looking forward to next year, man. You know, I think we should pick up a corner. We should pick up a linebacker, kick Anzalone out to the will. I like the adjustment too that we started off with 3 linebackers. And then we realized that, you know what, maybe we got to go with the 4-2-5 or maybe the 5-2 defense. And I like those adjustments by Aaron Glenn. I think he grew up this year as a coordinator. And man, it's just like I said, man, this whole team is like hard knocks, man. Like you just see the evolution, the growth of the coaches and players at once. It's a beautiful thing, man. And I just can't wait for next year.
All right, my defense, man. What I got, improved pass rush, man. That dynamic duo, and that was probably one of the blessings in disguise when Charles Harris went down and we brought James Houston onto the roster. That was great, man. Those two rookie edge rushers, man, they're gonna be a problem. They both gonna be a problem. Best rookie class of defenders in the league as a totality. Best rookie class with Aiden Hutchinson and James Houston and Kirby Joseph. And he didn't have the back end of the season wasn't that great, but even with Malcolm Rodriguez, we had the best rookie class in the league as far as defenders. Period, point blank.
Yeah.
That's just my K. Because like I say, we struggled early in the season, man, and we turned it around, still finished at the bottom of the league in most categories, but you got young core players with the ability to get better. And here's the thing, they're gonna get better together as a unit because like you said, they're growing together. So you have a lot of you're like, oh well, Lee McNeil's is better. No, man, Lee McNeil's a second-year player. Jerry Jacobs is a second-year player. We got a young core, man, and these guys are going to get better together. That's my biggest thing is for the defense is that we started slow, we got better, and they're going to grow together, and it's going to be a problem for the NFC North next year. It's going to be a problem.
Mm-hmm.
But I like what we did on defense this year. Shout out to AG, man, for being able to turn around. And that's my guy, man. He a Flintstone, man, but to me, one of the turning points for the season is when the team fired Aubrey Pleasant. It is what it is. I mean, people say, oh no, it just what. No, man, that changed the season. That changed it. It was something in that transaction that helped change the season, that turned that defense around, man. And you gotta look at it. Maybe it was a philosophy thing between what Dan Cameron wanted and what Aubrey Pleasant was doing. So I don't know, man. But what you got, Ella?
Or it could have been just, a hard decision to make, but would get the right reaction. You know what I'm saying? That's what coaches is a big part of their responsibility is to get a certain reaction out of the players. You know what I'm saying? You do certain things to get them to react a certain way out on the field or whatever it is. And this is one of the things that kind of turned it. For lack of a better analogy, almost like if y'all familiar with the Avengers or Marvel and all that stuff, like the first Avengers movie. Nick Fury lied and said he had them cards. He put some blood looking stuff on them cards to make it look like Coulson had been, make it look like Coulson's death was a little bit worse than what it was, make it more significant. So they really want to go out there and fight Loki. So they got rid of Aubrey Pleasant, they got rid of Aubrey Pleasant, and then everything, it got the right reaction. Curt, you quoted him before, as Anzalone saying, he wanted to, figure out what did he do to get Aubrey Pleasant, fired, because they all wasn't playing well. So somebody had to go, and it happened to be him. But it did spark a positive change. Shout out to AG because Coach Mike was calling him to secret meetings and things, and I was getting worried for him. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know what was going to happen for him. Yeah. But I'm glad that some things turned around. And he should stick around here. I'm looking forward to seeing what he's going to do next and whatever the next rookie class is going to do. We always hear about like the Ravens draft class and stuff like that, or whoever else, whoever the hot team is they want to talk about. But I want them to come back to this draft class and a monumental turnaround for the Detroit Lions, the brand new Detroit Lions.
Yeah, the brand new Lions. Hey,
that new.
Thank you for checking us out right here, Detroit Lions, and probably your home for Detroit Lions news and rumors. Now it is time for the offensive and defensive MVPs of the season for the Detroit Lions. First on offense. If you don't know, now you know. Because he had one of the best seasons, really statistically, of a Lions quarterback in a long time, including Matthew Stafford. Jared Goff, 4,438 passing yards, 29 touchdowns, and only 7 interceptions, with a passer rating of 99 for the season. The Lions offense went as Jared Goff went. And even that last play, look at the trust that the Lions had in Jared Goff. Because remember we kept saying, like, hey, we should be running the ball on 4th down. You look at that last drive for the Lions and they put that game away. They put that ball in Goff's hands. He had two passes to DJ Chark to end on 4th down to end that game.
Grapefruit.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. Defensive MVP. If you don't know, the young fella, man. One thing that he doesn't get credit for is his leadership on this team, and it's got to be Aiden Hutchinson. He's the defensive MVP of this team, man. He is. Look at the stats, man. 52 tackles, total tackles for the season, 9.5 sacks, 9 tackles for loss, 3 interceptions, which is crazy for a defensive end, 3 passes defenses, and 2 fumble recoveries for the season. His stats aren't just good for a rookie defensive line. That's good for any defensive lineman.
Mm-hmm.
Right at 10 sacks in the first year. In his first year, if you look at that, that's more than like Nick Bosa and Chase Young, Myles Garrett. He has better stats than all of those guys' rookie years. So that's my defensive MVP for the season. Shout out to the young fella, man. Wolf and Lion, Aiden Hutchinson, defensive MVP for your boy Curt Steele. And special teams. Khalif Raymond, 20 punt returns, 264 yards. He averaged 13.2 average a yard. That led the NFL. NFL. And tied for with the 1 TD, because we only had 2. It was only 2 punt returns for the touchdowns this season, and Khalif Raymond had 1. It wasn't a great year for Jack Fox. It wasn't a great year for Michael Basley. We saw the misses and all the turnover in the kicking game. We got the new Scott Daly, but the special teams MVP for this year was Khalif Raymond, man. When you lead the league in 2 categories, in a return category, that makes you an MVP in my opinion. And that are my MVPs for the year. Do you guys have anybody else different for those 3 categories?
No, I can't. I I was gonna have like a 1B and on defense, and I was Alexander Loney.
I get that.
But besides that, man, I'm right on par with you, Curt.
Yeah. Just honorable mentions. Honorable mentions on offense. Jamal Williams, and I really like Jonah Jackson, man. He had a hell of a season, just to show some recognition to the offensive line, of course. Panay Sewell and Ragnow and Decker, and Evan Brown in the time when he wasn't getting pushed around. Defensive rookie, Kirby Joseph, and special teams, CJ Moore. I feel like he was a big part of our special teams. He had the big run play. He makes a lot of big tackles as well, special team tackles as well. So shout out to those guys.
Yeah, definitely. And I know some people are gonna say James Houston for defensive MVP. The sample size was too small. I get what you're saying. He was second on the team in sacks, and he only did it in a few games. But if you look at the Packers game, the thing that kind of turned me as far as that changed my mind a little bit is that Packers game, just because of the fact that he was pretty much ineffective in that Packers game. Didn't have a sack. Had a couple pressures, but
he was getting a lot of attention too, though. You're right. But so they almost made sure that he didn't have a good game.
They made him look like a rookie. But that's what but you look at that.
True.
That's what Aiden Hutchinson dealt with for most of the year. That's what Aiden Hutchinson did with that, and that's why he's my defensive MVP. Hey, like the video, share the video, comment on the video, man. Help us get this content out to more Lions fans just like yourself, man. We love bringing you this content right here on Detroit Lions on the Prowl, your home for Detroit Lions news and rumors, man. Now it's time for us to zip out. Let me see what you had to say about yesterday's show, man. It's time for the comment cards, baby. All right, first up, we got King SJ, friend of the show. He says, still early because I'm still celebrating the Packer elimination week. But off the top of my head, a player I will currently be watching for is at 6 is defensive lineman Brian Breeze, assuming we don't trade back. 5 positions I have in mind to consider for our first 4 picks are interior defensive lineman, linebacker, cornerback, and offensive guard, and safety depth. Not necessarily in that order. I think a lot of us are looking at that. And I think a lot of pundits are saying the same thing about those positions for the Detroit Lions.
Yep. Not Brian Brees though. Now, how about this? I want this. Just tell me why. Tell me why Brian Brees, if you can, King. Actually, I'm not seeing it. But
maybe
Shaman says, wait.
Maybe he's saying Jalen Carter ain't there at 6.
He won't be, but don't mean take Brian Brees.
I got you.
But Shaman says, I believe that the Lions should stay with Williams and Swift. I also think the Lions should look at a third running back to create a 3-headed monster that will be virtually unstoppable next year. I don't know about the third running back because I thought we had that, and then we was like, what the hell happened to Craig Reynolds? So whatever, we'll see what they're gonna do. I do like the pair of Swift and Williams at least for this next year, for sure. Though, thanks for the comment.
That's hard to do with 3 running backs. That's hard to do 3 running backs. It's hard, man. That's hard, man.
Throw it a little bit less. That's all.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Go ahead.
Uncle Bo says, in my opinion, that if Jack Campbell is there at 18, we draft him to replace Anzalone. He is a true generational talent and a leader, which will very much so help our defense. I'm not too sure about Jack Campbell. Like, I haven't done enough film research, but I definitely will.
Yeah, that's what linebacker?
He'll be there in a second. Yeah,
what's
Iowa?
Iowa, yeah, sorry,
Iowa.
Iowa, yeah. All right, Geo Raider.
He'll be there in a second.
Yeah, probably will be. All right, Geo Raider. He says, what I want to see in the draft is defensive lineman, linebacker, and cornerback. A lot of us have said that. That being said, I think my wife and my mom tried to have me committed as I was so animated doing Sunday Night Football. Always a good show. I commented this, man. My wife was telling me to calm my ass down. Okay, too. So, and my wife used to watch football with me, but she watched that one with me. She was like, "We'll calm your ass down."
Which we already know this, but it's always your woman that's your biggest hater, y'all. Beanie Siegel, that's actually my favorite rapper as well. So if you are the Broad Street Bully, what up though? Even if you ain't, what up though? I agree. Linebackers matter. 2 DBs, defensive tackle, guard, and a backup quarterback. No particular order. I trust Brad finding talent. I throw y'all a name out there. A real late name, either a late draft pick or undrafted free agent. What y'all think about Stetson Bennett?
He a little light in the ass for me. That's a little cat right there.
He a backup.
Yeah, that's true. Okay.
Lego City Dad says D tackle or DN linebacker, Brian Branch, offensive guard. Like I said, man, I haven't even touched the draft board analysis, breakdown of the players, none of that. I'm gonna dive into it very soon though. So yeah, I take your word for it. I see that y'all have been doing y'all research. So yeah, I'm gonna get up on mine.
You know, we got educated. The Prowl Nation family is very educated. Hey, thanks for the comment cards, man. Thanks for leaving us your comments, and feel free to answer the family discussion topic or just tell us how we're doing right here on your home for Detroit Lions news and rumors. Detroit Lions on the Prowl. Now it's time for everyone else's favorite segment. It's time for Dessert with your man Curt. Brought to you by Delightful Bites. Grand Zero Toy has some coffee with your dessert. Real quick today, go ahead and hit that link for the Delightful Bites in the description for Facebook. If you don't do the Facebook thing, go on over to TikTok or Instagram, type in Delightful Bites and see all that beautiful dessert footage. Delightful Bites, get your cookie on. Real quick, a key part of our defensive line wants to come back. Defensive tackle or defensive lineman John Cominsky has expressed his emphatically wants to return to Detroit, and Brad Holmes has expressed that as well to bring the young fella back. So he was just being misused down there in Atlanta. So, you know what I'm saying, like my man Swaggy say, one man trash is another man's treasure. Taking me out, buying me dinners and things. But John Comiskey was a big part of our defense, man. He caused a lot of even if his numbers weren't great, because everyone thinks doesn't show up on the stat sheet, man. But he caused that key fumble in the game versus the Packers.
Played
man.
hurt.
Knocked that ball out. Yeah, man. And his thumb was healed. He was just used to wearing that thing, man. At the end of the season, he wanted to wear it. Yeah, his thumb was. He just it just felt comfortable wearing
it. Is
it.
that legal?
Yeah,
his hands like this big. Like
it's a part of his equipment. So there it is, man. Hey,
I would do that thing. I would just make my hands both that big.
I don't know about that, but thank you guys for checking us out right here.
Hold the hell out of somebody.
Detroit Lions on the Prowl. Now it's time to take that quick walk on over to the Wall of Fame. I ain't mess with you, Ella. All right, first up, we got our bronze members, man. We on top though 100, man. We got my man Joe Moe in the building, Timmy Birch, and Brian Stover. Silver members, we got Cap Ice Cold, John Martin, and Mr. Scotty the Barrett, the freshman, but gets it and all that. What's up, Frenchie? To run out our silver members. And the gold members meeting is today at 3 p.m. Go ahead and check it out, man. Mr. Reliable Michael Huck. We got Michael Lewis, Lady Lionor of Douche Bagia. And we have a man Paul Giroux in the building. The Tornado kicking it out there in Utah, and the Doctor, Dr. Detroit. He is always in. To become a member of the Wall of Fame, click that join now button in the description. Now it's time for final thoughts for the season. What you got, LL?
Shout out to John Comiskey, because this is a joke, by the way, but if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. That's ridiculous. He played with that big ass thing on, and his hand was healthy. But shout out to the Lions, man. Good season. Lot to build on, lot to clean up. Lot to build on. Lots of positive. So that's my expectations, to build on the positive, go forward. Lions in the NFC Championship next year. Have a great Wednesday.
All right, yeah. You know what? Player coaches is the way to go. This generation, guys don't really expect the old. They don't really respect that old guy who's just there, just yelling out instructions. They want somebody that they know can do exactly what they're asking them to do. And I think the player coaches is where it's at. I think that's going to be the trend moving forward. I think there's going to be a lot more player coaches. And I enjoy it, man. I enjoy having those guys out there, man. As you know, I'm a player coach, man, and I run sprints with the dudes. I get down in the drills. I headbutt people in the helmets. Like, that's just how I do, man. That's how I get my guys going, man. And I like it, man. And I think that's the direction of the Lions moving forward. And I just like the energy they bring, the intensity, and I think it is just contagious to the players, man. So shout out to the Lions, man. We going forward. We moving. We marching.
Yeah, man. Hey, for me, great year for the Lions. Well, I won't say great. It was a great progress in this year. That's what I like. It was great to see the turnaround, and you see what the great potential this team has for the going forward. And I think next year, the Lions we're gonna compete for the Kings of the North, man. We're gonna be right up there, man. It's the changing of the guard. The changing of the guard is happening, man. And you know what I'm saying? We're gonna be on our ish next year, man. We're gonna be something to deal with. So thank you guys for joining us right here on Detroit Lions on the Prowl, your home for Detroit Lions news and rumors, man. LL talked about them dollar conies yesterday. So y'all, roll up through Yak Town, man. Grab yourself a $1.25 coney if you haven't done so already. Thank you guys for hanging out on What Up Though Wednesday, Wild Out Wednesday, whatever it is Wednesday for you. If you're having a little time at work, man, because this is your, that first full week, second full week back at work, man. Hey, if you're getting a little overwhelmed, pump your brakes, calm down, take a deep breath, woo-sigh, get back at it, and ask for help if you need it, because it's always a sign of strength and not weakness to ask for help. You know what you got to do, man. What you was eating for lunch, wipe them crumbs off your face, man. Finish your drink and get back to work, baby. And whatever you're doing in life, you got to boss up, ball out, and be the best version of you that you can be. Lives win again, bitch. This is Curt Steele, and we will holler at you real soon. We love you, Jim.
What?